Adrian Bugaian, and I'm a delivery partner with Endava. We're a global IT company servicing a good part of the FinTech world. About 50% of what we do is FinTech. I am accountable for the work and the service that we do for our clients. So I am responsible for the service from the shaping up until the delivery and the handover into the internal organization of our clients. One thing that we see a lot happening in Asia Pac is the focus on digital identity. So people want to transact online more and more. They do use less cash and more online payments, and making sure that who you're paying and who is the payee is becoming an important thing. The other major thing that we see happening in APAC is the cross-border payments. So everybody wants to do a transaction real time and in the cross-border space. Data has been harnessed throughout the IT systems for as long as they existed. So with the digital acceleration phase that we saw happening in the last years, more and more data is available to our end clients. By harnessing the data, they're able to create apps that adapt to each individual user. If previously when you downloaded or used an app from your bank or from your other service provider, it was always the same. Now, with the use of the data and seeing what the behavior is, it is tailored to your personal use and what's important for you and when you're actually using that app. An example that I can share, which we have implemented for one of our clients, is mapping all the data and how the data flows throughout their value chain, identifying where the data can be used to optimize the value chain. And it was both in optimizing how data entries were done into the system and also how the data has been used in reporting and making sure that that is sanitized data. So it's not duplicate and it's not corrupt. And that allowed us to help our clients to be much more productive on the reporting side at the end. When we talk about the younger generation, and unfortunately I'm not part of that generation anymore, people want everything fast. As we see the evolution of communications, where people went from dial-up into 5G mobile data, same thing happens to our expectations. We want to be in control of our finances and all that decision-making process. So the younger generation wants the same, but on turbo mode. They want to know how much money they have in each of their accounts. A good survey showed us how often they do check their bank account throughout the day, and that they usually check their bank account after a transaction as well. So that gives them the ease of information. The other side with that information is the ease of making a decision. So comparing to the previous generations, they don't set up necessarily direct debits or payments, recurring payments from their accounts to pay the bills. They want to keep up until almost the last day and pay their bills and as much as they want in that very instant. And the future of merchant payments is going to be in allowing them to accept a transaction, accept a payment anywhere in the world at any given point in time. If you look at bigger merchants, they have a different budget that allows them to integrate those payments mechanisms. The future is going to lie on small and medium merchants and allowing them to accept a seamless payment anywhere in the world. So a good example, in a case study we have been working on with one of our clients and partners, is how do you make sure that a sun hat seller in one of the islands in Southeast Asia can accept a real-time payments transaction from a different country. And that's the view that we have, and that's the vision that we're working towards, is seamless cross-border real-time payments transaction for a small to medium merchant somewhere not in a big city but somewhere remote. Another evolution in the merchant space that we saw, which was very big here in Southeast Asia, is the transaction from cash onto QR codes. It has been astonishing to come from Europe and see here what's happened in the last 2 years. The pandemic definitely helped a lot because the QR codes were available before that, but it accelerated its use. And with the acceptance of QR codes of merchants around Southeast Asia, it opened up the gateway into the next phase, which is going to happen in the cross-border payments here in Southeast Asia, when you can do a cross-border payment through a QR code in between countries. And we see that connection between Singapore and Malaysia, Singapore and Indonesia being the next one, Singapore and Thailand, that's already live. And most likely this is going to be the gateway in towards the future cross-border in between not just those countries but other countries that like the way that it has been done and would like to be part of that infrastructure in the future. So open banking APIs as a mechanism allows interchange of data in between third-party systems. So if we look at the seamless transaction, especially from a merchant's point of view, it will allow a merchant to validate the identity of the payee. It would allow to see any previous transactions that payee has done. And as a result, as a combination of those things, it allows to de-risk the element of digital identity in making sure that the person who's making the transaction is the right person, and in bigger and higher value transactions is that they have the credibility and track record of making such transactions in the past. Well, it's great to be here. It's great to have a physical event. It's been almost 3 years that we haven't had the chance to meet face to face with other people. Being on a panel and sharing our experience in the real-time payment space is going to help a lot. But the biggest thing by far is the network of people that this event draws together and the network that you can build with the partners looking forward.